Seton, you got a poll question to start out this Thursday morning.
Well, I'm trying to craft one based off of the Buffalo press conference.
All right.
I mean, do we keep it as simple as should owners speak? Yes or no?
I loved it. Once again, I'm not a Buffalo Bills fan. I certainly empathize with them of what happened. They lose again, and in heartbreaking fashion. And the owner gets there with the GM, and all of a sudden, back and forth, and it became good content is what it did. But owners should not get in front of the media. At least I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're not really a football guy, you're a billionaire and you made your money elsewhere, you get in front of the media. And normally, billionaires don't get in front of the media. They are probably wisely told not to do that because reporters can be pretty sharp, hearing something, seeing something, saying something, and then all of a sudden you're going, da, ba, da, da, ba, da. And it felt like we had a little bit of that yesterday. I'm still surprised that the owner, Terry Pegula, said that it was his decision to bring in a new coach based on the results of the game in Denver. It just feels like that's where you need to take a couple of days, maybe even a week. Let's just let it die down. Yes, heartbreaking. You saw Josh Allen crying in the locker room. And the owner said, hey, I'm kind of basing this off that too. I'm reading the room. Did we hit the wall? Okay. But it just felt strange with that owner and his reasoning. Here is the Buffalo Bills owner.
I did not fire a coach based on a bad officiating decision. If I can take you into that locker room, I felt like we hit the proverbial playoff wall year after year. 13 seconds, missed field goals, the catch. I just sensed in that locker room, like, where do we go from here?
Okay, but what does Sean McDermott have to do with that? Missed field goals, the catch? I just felt like he got all the blame. Josh Allen deserves the blame, at least in this game. Josh Allen plays like Josh Allen. We're not having this discussion. The owner did say, he was asked about, what if you won that game? And he said, well, I don't deal in hypotheticals, which is interesting. But, Josh Allen didn't play well. That's why they lost. Not a catch, an interception. It was more than that. But am I going to put that at the feet of Sean McDermott? That's where I think it's unfair. If you don't think that he's a big-time coach and he can't get you to the next level, okay. But don't base it off one game. That feels like you're reacting and you're not really letting this set in a little bit. Let's just gather here. Did Sean McDermott get a chance to fight for his job after that game? Did he get an audience with the owner to say, hey, we're really close? Who put the roster together? They had a lot of injuries. Everybody has injuries. I mean, it just felt like it was a blame game, and they weren't really blaming the right people here. And then you got into this silly Keon Coleman conversation there. I mean, here is the question. It's not even about Keon Coleman, the wide receiver out of Florida State. Here's the question and the answer by Brandon Bean, the GM.
How do you answer the fact that you have not given Josh a good enough wide receiver thus far?
Yeah, can I interrupt? I'll address the Keon situation. The coaching staff pushed to draft Keon. I'm not saying Brandon wouldn't have drafted him, but he wasn't his next choice. That was Brandon being a team player and taking advice of his coaching staff who felt strongly about the player. And he's taken, for some reason, heat over it and not saying a word about it. But I'm here to tell you the true story.
Okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's not like the guy's an ex-player. Keon Coleman's still on the roster. And he was a team player? You're the GM. Do you want him or don't you? And if you don't want him, you don't go, I'm going to be a team player. This should be on you. And yes, Keon Coleman, what was he, second-round pick? Everybody loved Keon Coleman. Remember the interview that he had? Like, oh, they're falling in love with this guy and his personality. Now, all of a sudden, are we going to name the coaches who wanted Keon Coleman? Because Brandon Beane didn't. Like, it's just a weird... And then the owner says, can I interrupt? No, you can't. I mean, come on. Yes.
Yeah, one of the problems with this, of the many, is that in modern day, teams all have media departments, and media departments for the teams basically make mini documentaries out of every single draft pick that the team makes. And it took the internet about 2.5 seconds to pull up Brandon Beane's mini documentary on drafting Keon Coleman, including all of his, day of being like, hey, look, if our guy is there tomorrow, we're getting Keon Coleman. Yeah. Okay, what are we doing with the draft pick? Unless somebody offers us something crazy, we're getting Keon Coleman. That's who we want. And it's Brandon Beane saying that.
Well, he was just being a team player. Like, man, all of a sudden, this isn't a desirable job. I mean, it just, like, that would scare me. Now, if you haven't been a head coach, you get the opportunity to coach in that great city, and with that quarterback, okay. But if you said I could have Baltimore or Buffalo, I'm taking Baltimore. I trust Baltimore's front office, ownership. But, man, all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute here. Do I want to walk into that where the former GM who just got promoted, but he's still going to be the GM, has the ear of the owner? If I'm the coach, and you saw this with John Harbaugh, they already have their GM in place, Joe Shane. John Harbaugh let you know John Harbaugh is going to talk to the owner. Because if you have that GM, chances are the GM is spending a whole lot more time with the owner than you will be. And he'll have his ear. Yeah, Paulie.
Going back to that cut from the owner of the Bills, I saw that printed out yesterday when the Bills media was tweeting it out. It's way worse when you hear the audio. He's not misquoted. He's not loose. He directly says, we really didn't want this guy, and the coaches push for it. Now Keon Coleman has to wear that going forward. OTAs. If he doesn't start next year, Josh Allen has to answer for it.
Okay. And what happens when Josh Allen surfaces? What's your first question? Did you want Sean McDermott fired? Did ownership ask you about Sean McDermott?
Is Keon Coleman the reason Sean McDermott was fired?
Yeah. What do you think of Keon Coleman? Oh.
Good grief.
I mean, thank you. Thank you, Terry.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, crap. Oh, crap.
How silly is that? Also, when he says, let me take you into the locker room. Okay. Like, oh, now when you say that, that's a trick, sometimes that you'll get coaches say, or GMs or owners, hey, let me take you in the locker room. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, let me sit up in my chair here. You're going to take us in the locker room. I want to know what happened in the locker room. Like, you're reading the locker room, Josh Allen's crying. Okay. I'm going to guess he probably cried in the other playoff losses in his career. I'm guessing. So what'd you see? Guys who are emotional? I'm guessing that happens every year when Buffalo bows out. It was just really strange and reactionary in the moment. We lost. We're firing him. Now, look, for the last 6 weeks, I've said it felt like there was something there. That's why, I asked prior to the game, is he coaching for his job? I didn't have any information other than a sense that there was something going on. And turns out there was. Yes, Eaton.
I mean, if you go back, though, I'm surprised that people are as surprised as they are at Sean McDermott getting fired. But there are plenty of lists going into the season, even starting at the end of last season, coaches that are on the hot seat. If it's a top 5, top 7, whatever, Sean McDermott is on a good portion of those.
If they had lost that game at home, then I could see that you would consider firing Sean McDermott. Or if they lost by 2 touchdowns. I mean, it was a coin toss.
Yeah, I feel like his, you had said before, did he have the ability to defend himself or try to get his job back? I feel like this season was that. This was his chance to defend himself.
First hour brought to you by the great folks at Dude Wipes. Switch to life-changing, extra-large, flushable Dude Wipes. Dude Wipes available at Amazon and major retailers nationwide. Dude Wipes, best clean, pants down. All right, so the poll question, are you going to be just straightforward with this?
I am,
Okay.
as a matter of fact, Dan. Let me ask you the poll question.
Okay.
Should owners speak at sports press conferences? Your options are no, hell no, absolutely not, or sure.
I love it. Now, I don't want my owner speaking, and most owners don't speak when you think about it. I mean, Jerry Jones doesn't help his team when he speaks. He doesn't help his coach when he speaks. He helps Jerry Jones when Jerry Jones speaks. Mark Cuban, I thought, helped the Mavericks. I thought that he became a great cheerleader. But how many other owners do you hear in all the sports? Like, think about it. How many owners get in front of a microphone? Because they're probably told not to. Robert Kraft, fancies himself as, the spokesperson for the NFL. Arthur Blank has done a little bit of that. But, for the most part, I don't want my owners speaking. Now, did I like it? Yeah, it was entertaining. I'm in the content business. I hope they have a press conference today. Yeah, Paulie.
I'll go on the other side of this a little bit. I think owners should be required to do one press conference a year, and the local reporters get to ask them 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
But you're saying required.
Yeah.
Terry Pegula was not required to be there.
Exactly. And I can imagine the PR staff of the Bills wanting to manage him before it and not getting a chance to.
No, this is no. This is a guy who has all the answers. He's a billionaire. Who are you? This is my team. What's he been there 13 years? Owns the Sabres. I get it. But, there's a lot of people who tell you what you want to hear in the building. But this is different. These are the reporters who want to know. We just fired Sean McDermott, who's probably one of the, top 5 coaches? How about top 10 coaches in the NFL before he got fired? Probably generally considered top 10. Yes, Heaton.
I'm seeing a headline here from a Buffalo Bills blog, Buffalo Rumblings. Terry Pegula's first time taking questions in more than 5 years reinforces why he doesn't do that much.
Yes. And Buffalo has such a great PR department. I can only imagine they're going to go, oh, God. Oh.
Where are you going, Mr. Pegula? I'm going to the podium.
I'm going to sit in on this one.
You want to stay in your press box?
You want to?
No, I'm the owner. Let me get out in front of this. Let me take this one.
I got the answers. I got it. Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. I didn't think we would be talking about that, today. I thought it would be just one of those exit. Now, granted, that there was serious nature about it, tension attached to it. But when the owner shows up, and I thought, okay, Brandon Beane's going to be able to swat away, these questions. But when the owner gets there and he wants to tell you how smart he is, and he wants to promote his general manager, and this is all Sean McDermott, and I read the locker room, and okay. So that next coach who comes in, are you going to let him ease in? What if you bow out in the first round of the playoffs? What if you don't make the playoffs? Does this turn off any coaching candidates? Because, man, you're only as good as the people above you. Success starts from above. All of these places. I want to know, who's your owner? Who's your GM? How involved are they? How smart are they? What's their resume? And yesterday didn't give me a healthy dose of confidence if I'm moving forward with this. Because now I know that GM who got promoted has the owner's ear. And if you're a coach going in there, it's 2 against 1. And all of a sudden, hey, my GM didn't draft that wide receiver who is still on the roster, and he was a team player. Yeah, Paulie.
The GM, Brandon Beane, is conditioned to this. He actually looked it up. He went to college for communications. Terry Pegula went to college for a degree in petroleum and natural gas engineering. Not a lot of public speaking there.
No. Yes, Todd.
And if you don't refer to things like play calling or clock management or something specific to the coach, it feels like that's a situation where if you're putting it on the coach, you better cite something, or you got to give us something and just not say the locker room looked like they just hit a wall.
Well, he did. He said, I didn't fire him based on a bad officiating decision, but he said that we hit the playoff wall. Year after year, 13 seconds, missed field goal, the catch. So I sensed that the locker room, like, where do we go from here and what do we have? And that was the basis for my decision. I don't know if anybody asked him, did you have a conversation with Josh Allen? I mean, that would be one of those questions in the moment I'd like to know. Did you talk to Josh Allen?
I'm going to keep that between us.
Yeah.
I'm going to, guys, look, I'm not going to take you inside the locker room and share all that.